Today I want to get really personal and share with you something that I've learned the hard way that has helped me in my recovery. And Rick tried to teach me this, and it didn't really go well. Some old theology and some old belief systems, if you will, really warred against it. And now I have learned and have embraced it in a way that it really has changed my life. There's a principle by a gentleman named Richard Rohr, who is a priest, shares some wonderful thoughts, and he says that we should live with a foundational yes to every moment. It's really incredibly hard to do. It really is addressing the thought of being present in your recovery, in your life, and for those of you that are watching, I would say it's about being present in recovery, because if you're watching these videos, you're probably venturing out into recovery in some shape or form. The struggle is, how do you do that? If you're anything like me, one of the biggest wars that I fight is not being on autopilot. I am a multitasker. I multitask while I'm driving, and I shouldn't. While I'm working, I'm doing other things. I've got 3 screens at my desk because I'm doing all these different things. It gets to be chaotic. I really do hate it, but yet I don't hate it enough to stop. And so I'm really focusing on working on being present and utilizing some skills to be present. And here's why it's so important to be present in your recovery. It's a huge step to try and come out of the matrix of autopilot or multitasking or just kind of doing so much in life. We're the busiest we've ever been. We've got a incredible computer in our hands that loves to occupy our attention. We're distracted in so many different ways, and in recovery, you are overwhelmed by, if you're a betrayed spouse, reminders and triggers and intrusive thoughts and emotional swings and complete upheaval inside of you. So the thought of being present, man, it's chaotic. I mean, think about the fear, the paranoia. You're wondering what your spouse is doing and what they have been doing, and do you know everything? And it is information overload. The need to be present, the need to be in the moment is off the chart. If you're an unfaithful, you may struggle with, man, what's my spouse thinking, and what am I coming home to today? And you may be having all kinds of trauma floating around you because of your choices. And so trying to be present and trying to live in the moment is a task that can literally beat the hell out of you. The reason I say so much of this is because I missed so many moments because I was rushing through the moments of life. I mean, I was on autopilot, just nonstop chaos, and you became a speed bump to me when I was on mission, if you will. And that mission was to exercise my will and get what I needed to get done. And a lot of times we are not present because, number one, we're rehearsing. We are continuing to rehearse the past. We're stuck in what's happened. We are locked into battle with what went on and what did happen and what was going on and why did this happen. And so we're continuing to relive the past, and it's a weakness for me. I do it all the time. If you're in recovery, it is an incredible struggle to not rehearse what has already gone on. The past is the past, and we cannot change it. And if you're an unfaithful spouse, that's going to be a critical piece to your recovery, is embracing what's happened and not continuing to rehearse it. Number 2 is we can't live in constant anticipation of what's going to happen. Are they going to be faithful? Are they going to relapse? Are they going to do it again? Is my spouse going to forgive me? Is she going to give me a chance to work on the marriage? Or is she not? Or is she going to stay? Is she going to go? Do I continue to do this, or do I pull back? It can be completely schizophrenic in your mind what you're warring through, but you have to understand you cannot control what your spouse is going to do. You cannot control the future. You're going to have to live in the moment and embrace the moment that's upon you and have a foundational yes to the moment that you're in. I think a critical component to my life right now is wanting to be a usable instrument. Some of you subscribe to faith, some of you don't. For me, I want to be a usable instrument of God's hand. I want to be a usable instrument to encourage, to uplift, to exhort, to bless everyone that's in my life. If you don't come from faith, you can still buy into the fact that you want to be a usable instrument of value, of meaning, of purpose, to better anyone and everyone that you come in contact with. I mean, it's just about being a usable instrument. But I know that for me, I am not a usable instrument if I am continuing to rehearse, or if I'm continuing to anticipate, or if I'm continuing to multitask. I'm not able to give what I should be able to give. And I'm not saying yes foundationally to the moment that I'm in. Just this morning, Samantha and I got into a hellacious fight. Had nothing to do with infidelity or any of that. It had everything to do with some shame and some defensiveness and some stonewalling. Yeah, take that from the Gottman book. And so we had this moment, and both of us had a foundational no going on. Like, I couldn't wait to get out the door and get to the office. She couldn't wait for me to get out the door and get to the office so she could get to the kids and deal with her own issues. I mean, we both were not saying yes to the moment, and so she called me a bad name, and I laughed and slammed the door without talking. Once again, proving Samuel does not have it all together 10 plus years later, okay? But this is just real life. So my question to you is, are you living with a foundational yes to the moment that you're in, or are you living to a foundational no to the moment that you're in? Because it's going to make a big difference. If you can't be present, you're not going to be a usable instrument, and you're going to probably actually be an instrument of damage rather than an instrument of healing. If you're able to be present, I really believe you can walk in love, and you can be a vessel of love, and you can have a foundational yes to the moment. So try it. Let's all, you and I, let's be brave enough to give it a shot over the next week, and let's see if we can live with a foundational yes to the moments that come upon us. It will take endurance, it'll take love, it'll take bravery for sure, but it'll take being present. So I'm going to do it with you. Let's see how it goes.